This assistant profession makes Yi Zhongming very satisfied. Now there are 2 slots left on the wheel. He took out the magic crystal again and threw it in. The other 3 onlookers were all stunned. How is that possible? He alone killed 4 level 2 zombies. The crowd didn't think much. Little did they know, Yi Zhongming had known all along. He has been chasing you all this time. A black cat was staring at them intently. As soon as he arrived, his eyes shot out red light. In the near future, people have to rely on luck even to have a drink of Matai. In the post-apocalyptic world where zombies roam, seizing the wheel has become the key to survival and power for people. Yi Zhongming is investigating the matter of the Blade Man professional book and is attacked by the previous speech witch, while facing 2 level 2 creatures at the same time. Yi Zhongming plans to break through them one by one. But speech witch did not give him the opportunity. In that case, Yi Zhongming once again displayed the tradition of being a strong man with a good waist and good kidneys. He performed a mid-air turn and stabbed towards the attacking speech witch. The speech witch was startled by this and shuddered. She used her 3rd innate skill, Soul Piercer. A purple whirlwind surged towards Yi Zhongming in a sudden attack. If it weren't for his quick reflexes, Yi Zhongming would definitely have been in big trouble. And Soul Piercer is a mental talent skill. It directly damages the consciousness of living beings. This once again surprised Yi Zhongming. It's astonishing that a level 2 mutated zombie has 3 talent skills. And the speech witch turned around and fled again. Yi Zhongming deeply knew that this menace could not be left behind. When he was preparing to chase after her, he was obstructed by the bone demon. In the urgent situation, Yi Zhongming casually wielded a 90-meter short knife, taking down the opponent directly and securing the first blood. And then he continued to chase the fleeing speech witch. But just at that moment, the sudden sound coming from the supermarket made him calm down. The primary task now is to obtain a professional certificate and enhance one's own capabilities. He then went straight to the supermarket, using one of the few remaining courtesies in this post-apocalyptic world. Then, he stated his purpose for coming. A response came from inside the door. It was an old man. He saw that Yi Zhongming didn't look like a bad person, so he let him in. But he still remained cautious. Yi Zhongming looked around at the surroundings. He then took out the evolution potion to show his sincerity. Another man in the room took out the certificate. After looking at the certificate, the 2 of them began bargaining in the street market style. In the end, the bargaining between the 2 of them was stuck at 3 or 4 bottles of evolution potion. Learning of the old man's insistence on 4 bottles was for his family member with a terminal illness. As a result, Yi Zhongming took out the last ape turtle crocodile egg. He even mentioned that its effects could rival those of the evolution potion. In the end, the 2 of them successfully reached a deal. As they were leaving, Yi Zhongming kindly reminded the old man to leave as soon as possible. At the same time, he was fortunate that the old man's skills were not good, so he couldn't make use of the treasure even if he found it. This is a professional certificate called the Radiant Sigil Blade Crafter. Just by looking at the prefix, you can tell this is a rare primary profession. And it is a profession that combines Markcaster and Blade Man into one. Markcaster can record skills into a mark, then enchant it onto a weapon. Yi Zhongming was seen making slow motions with his left and right hands. A blazing fire was then ignited and recorded with the flame mark, which was fused into his 90-meter short knife. The 90-meter short knife then emitted a charming radiance, with the flame mark prominently appearing on the blade. Subsequently, Yi Zhongming directly unleashed the flame blade. A blazing fire erupted in front instantly. Just one slash could burn off Pig's hair entirely. The other skill that the Blade Man profession carries is Blue Sea Cut. But it consumes a lot. Currently, his strength can only swing 2 swords at most. But at this moment, Yi Zhongming, who is reaping full benefits, is unaware. Mo Yi and a few others are currently engaged in a fierce battle. In the near future, people even need to rely on wheel to draw lots just to drink a bottle of cold boiled water. In the apocalyptic world ruled by zombies, snatching wheels becomes the key to survival and power. Zhongming has just become the Radiant Sigil Bladecrafter. After experiencing the power of the Markcaster, he then planned to meet with several people from Moyi. But at this moment, he heard the barking of the Di Huang Pill. Are they in danger? On the other side, Moyi is dodging left and right, obviously in a fierce battle. It turns out that Wang Ding, the warrior of 2 stars back then, now known as Flat Top Bro, is also lying on the ground with serious injuries. And Liang Chuyin is also in a fierce battle with Leader Yi. The Di Huang Pill is dealing with several minions, and the situation is quite challenging. Wang Ding heads straight for Moyi. He swung the 2 knives at his hands down. Moyi then used the 80-meter short knife given to her by Zhongming to block. But the opponent has 2 knives. Blocking the first one may not be able to block the 15th. At the critical moment, when danger was imminent, Teacher Piao's hollow diamond shield came to the rescue in time. But its effect was very minimal. Under the fierce attack from Wang Ding, she could only struggle to survive. When even the last line of defense is lost, all that awaits them is fear. Teacher Piao now also suffers from mental overload. Frequent use of hollow diamond shield and rejuvenation have left her body depleted. With a loud clang, Wang Ding broke through Moya's block. At the same time, his other hand stabbed towards her hand, intending to seize the 80-meter short dagger. But at this moment, a familiar sound came from not far away. He then saw a ball of fire coming towards him. It's Zhongming. He's here, coming with a ball of fire. Before everyone could react, this flame blade strike directly cut off one of Wang Ding's hands with a swish, causing him to kneel on the ground in unbearable pain. Seeing Zhongming standing in front of him, staring at him fixedly, Wang Ding ran off as if he had seen a ghost. Leader Yi and the others also saw that the situation was not right and quickly retreated. They had wanted to continue the pursuit, but Zhongming was too exhausted to carry on. They could only regroup and reorganize first. Zhongming finally recovered his energy. A few people were able to enjoy a rare peaceful meal. Flat Up Bro kept shouting about how powerful the 80-meter short knife is. Even Wang Ding avoided its sharpness. Later, Zhongming stood up directly. He came to the iron gate and used forging, only to see the iron gate dissolve at a speed visible to the naked eye. Then he took out reinforcement materials from the spatial crystal. With a loud bang, blue light flashed. A brand new 80-meter short knife was handed to Flat Top Bro. At this moment, Zhongming forged in front of everyone for the first time, causing a stir of exclamations. After a round of cheers, Zhongming gazed into the distance. Then he pointed to a tall building in the distance. Next, we need to find a person. In the future, he will be revered as the Melody Master. Inside the instrument factory indicated by Zhongming, there are several survivors sitting and lying down. Then a big man eating a chicken leg walked in. He looked like an oppressor. Upon seeing the big man, the crowd became slightly nervous. However, one middle-aged man with glasses had a gloomy expression. It was clear that he was the person Zhongming was looking for. In the near future, people even need to rely on a wheel draw to have a chance to drink a bottle of 1982 Lafite Rothschild in the near future. In the apocalyptic world where zombies roam, seizing the wheel becomes crucial for survival and power. Zhongming, who has been reborn, is like a walking cheat code. He followed his memories, leading his team to search for a man named Melody Master. However, upon arrival, they found the place deserted. And just at this moment, they noticed something outside the door. It turns out that they used a living person to lure away the zombies, and the leader was the big man who was eating chicken legs in the previous episode. He used living people to lure away the zombies, while he looted supplies himself. The man with glasses found out that he was about to become bait. His heart was already completely despairing. But at this moment, he unexpectedly ran into Zhongming's arms. Before the man with glasses could react, Zhongming had already arranged everything for him. In the previous life, the man with glasses was the father of the magic crystal weapon, Yu. He extracted the energy contained in the magic crystal through technological means, further modified it to become a rare weapon in the apocalypse. However, Zhongming did not tell him the truth. Instead, he let him eat and drink his fill first. He took out another magic crystal. Then he proposed the idea of refining the energy of the magic crystal. Actually, it is to guide him towards the path of the father of the magic crystal weapon. Bring him into the team ahead of time. And at this moment, Yu said solemnly, "Help me with something. My life, Yu's life, is at your disposal." On the other hand, Chicken Leg Brother is pondering deeply. He doesn't understand why Zhongming, who clearly has strength, would want to save that tag-along glasses guy. And just at that moment, the younger brother handed him a box of canned peaches to refresh his mind. Suddenly, Chicken Leg Bro thought of that inch-headed young brother who had taken Glasses Guy's wife. He felt that something was not right. Sure enough, the next moment, someone broke in. The newcomer turned out to be Zhongming and his group. After making eye contact with Yu, he swaggered in. He grabbed the little guy by the hair. He viciously grabbed his collar. Then he swung him back. The man fell with a thud in front of Yu. And at this moment, the blood vessels in Yu's eyes were almost bursting with anger. He directly picked up an 80-pound brick and fiercely smashed it at the henchman. After avenging his wife, he, along with 5 trusted followers, joined Zhongming's team. In the middle of the night, Zhongming was planning their next target location. It was a wild boar farm, the goal being to obtain level 2 magic crystal. Because there are at least 50 level 2 wild boars here. When the crowd heard this, they were shocked. Meanwhile, outside the wild boar farm, a strong man was dragging a corpse while drinking a Lafite from 82. He threw the corpse into the nearby wild boar farm. Soon, a group of wild boars gathered around the fresh corpse, eagerly tearing and devouring it. Meanwhile, the bearded man was muttering to himself, "After evolving, help me find a level 2 wheel to become a 2 stars evolver. It will happen in the near future." People have to rely on lottery even for a bottle of Mrs. Ty's oral liquid. In the apocalypse where zombies are rampant, seizing the wheel becomes the key to survival and power. The reincarnated Zhongming is like a walking cheat code. His next target is a wild boar farm because it houses a bunch of mutated Peppa Pig piglets, and the owner of the wild boars is the powerful 9 stars expert Gu Pan from the previous life. Developed in the later stages. Even 5 Peppa Pig have reached level 8 mutation. Zhongming now needs to quickly break through level 2 reinforcement. Going to steal his tower is the best choice. On the other hand, Gu Pan, who is drinking, is unaware that his death is approaching. Suddenly, his 7th sense tells him that something big is happening. Several innocent Peppa Pig toys die one after another, and then another one dies shortly after. At this point, Gu Pan is already furious. Then he directly rushed out of the room. He didn't care about anything and just acted impulsively. He immediately sounded the horn of the soul. The Peppa Pig family suddenly gathered together. Gu Pan did not say a word. He picked up his weapon, sat in the Mercedes Peppa Pig flat-top row, and left with the Peppa Pig family. He immediately informed Zhongming that there were only 7 Peppa Pig guards left at home. And on this side, Mo observed. Counted 46 Peppa Pig heads for level 2. 28 Peppa Pig heads for level 1. Everyone also understands the arduous and dangerous task this time. But seeking wealth and honor in danger is an eternal truth. He then began to assign tasks. Yun is responsible for taking charge of the wind. Xiao Lei is responsible for protecting Yun. Teacher Piao is responsible for supporting Liang Chuyin and Di Huang Pil. Mo will go patch up any holes. He also asked Flat Top Bro to prepare the motorcycles needed for the second section, while he went to take care of the 7 Peppa Pigs guarding the farm. These adorable Peppa Pigs were no match for him at all. And Mo raised the AK-48 and fired at the Peppa Pigs with a burst of gunfire. They couldn't last 3 seconds in front of her. Those who miraculously weren't shot dead were swiftly finished off by her. In just a moment, she took down 10 level 1 Peppa Pigs. On the other side, Liang Chuyin wielded a long whip. She had the posture of taming the king of Peppa Pigs. Under her gentle care of a small whip, Liang Chuyin and teacher Piao also successfully completed the first stage of the mission. Flat Top Bro was riding a flashy green scooter, waiting for Gu Pan's army of Peppa Pig to arrive. He then flashed an international hand signal. He successfully provoked Gu Pan. Gu Pan has been chasing Flat Top Bro to successfully complete the first task. Zhongming also took care of the 7 Peppa Pig guards. Everyone is getting ready to start the second task. Send Peppa Pig King Gu Pan on the road. At this time, the 3 little sisters have already gathered at the second task point. Soon, Gu Pan was led here by Flat Top Bro. By now, Gu Pan was already engulfed in anger. 74 Peppa Pigs were killed instantly, more than 20. He was itching to tear Flat Top Bro apart. But at this moment, suddenly came a loud bang. It's an ambush. If it weren't for one of the Peppa Pig taking the bullet. Gu Pan is about to be done here. The current Gu Pan has lost his mind. He rushed towards the ambush location of the 3 younger sisters. Next, it's Liang Chuyin's turn to perform. In the near future, people need to rely on the Wheel of Fortune even to eat a pill of ibuprofen. In a post-apocalyptic world dominated by zombies, seizing the wheel becomes the key to survival and power in the world dominated by zombies. Zhongming, born anew, is like a walking guidebook. Now he is planning to deal with the future powerhouse Gu Pan from the 9 stars. After Zhongming lured Gu Pan to the ambush point, Liang Chuyin leaped down and unleashed a frenzy of raging madness whip attacks. She chased away the oncoming Peppa Pig in a panic. Plus Moya's suppressive firepower. The Peppa Pigs couldn't last for more than 3 seconds. Liang Chuyin successfully completed her mission. Retreat immediately under the cover of Moyi. Luckily, I used a whip, so I was able to climb the wall under the eyes of the pigs and safely return to the ambush point. The mission of the 3 was finally completed only after he had used up the last armor-piercing bullet. But at this moment, the door was suddenly kicked open. The person who came in was Gu Pan. The casualties of Peppa Pig's team had already made him furious. He had to catch the 3 little sisters to sacrifice in order to appease Peppa Pig, but he didn't expect that the sparrow in the rear had been eyeing the mantis for a long time. When the 3 little sisters saw Zhongming coming, they immediately relaxed. And before Zhongming could even say hello, he kicked Gu Pan directly. The powerful impact force couldn't even withstand the made-in-China glass. Let him free fall from a height of 100 meters. Waiting for him is Zhongming's 90-meter short knife. Where the short knife passes, it burns into smoke. The future strongman of 9 stars falls at this moment. 74 Peppa Pig heads taken care of, with 72 resolved and 2 rescued after getting lost. But Zhongming is quite satisfied with this outcome. He then arranged for Flat Top Bro to handle the body of Peppa Pig. Fangs, mane, and fur are all good enhancement materials. And you can even have pork in the apocalypse. Half cured and half charcoal grilled is still delicious. Surviving in the apocalypse has become a gourmet moment. While Zhongming is eating meat, he is also taking stock of his gains this time. There are more than 40 level 2 magic crystals. Next, he will start looking for a level 2 wheel to evolve as soon as possible. And the Di Huang pill at this moment is really tempting. Zhongming noticed that the magic crystal of this silly dog had dimmed. If nothing unexpected happens, it will evolve after it wakes up. And at this moment, 2 unidentified individuals appeared in front of Zhongming. When they introduced themselves as being from the new district base, Xiao Lei called on the spot. This means that these 2 individuals may know her husband. She then came with hope to inquire about her husband Chen Yu's news. But the result was not as expected. The 2 of them did not know each other. Moreover, the new district is now heavily surrounded by zombies. To get in, only alternative methods can be used. Yi Zhongming is also interested. Seeing that they were both only interested in eating pork, Yi Zhongming agreed to have them show the way into the new district. And at this moment, a strange noise came from inside the house. It must have been the commotion caused by the Di Huang pill. Sure enough, when Yi Zhongming came in, he saw Di Huang pill shedding fur continuously. Everyone was quite worried, thinking that dogs cannot eat pork. But the next second, Flat Op Bro screamed in alarm. The Di Huang pill grew golden fur at a speed visible to the naked eye. Then it opened its big Carzalin eyes. It successfully evolved into a level 2 Luwei Di Huang pill. In the near future, people have to rely on a wheel to draw lots even for a piece of pork in the near future. In the end times when zombies roam, seizing the wheel becomes the key to survival and power. Yi Zhongming, who has been reborn, is like a walking cheat code. His war dog Di Huang pill has also transformed from its original black fur. It has transformed into a golden fur. It has become a little yellow dog. And it's really yellow. The latest evolved talent skill is the ability to control the quantity and attack intensity of fine needles and threads. It is equivalent to making up for the initial weakness and power. On the rooftop of the new district base on the other side, there is a man surnamed Ming wearing a military uniform. He quietly watched Liang Chuyin and others. And just at this moment, a man in white appeared beside him. The newcomer is Qin Yu, the husband of Xiao Lei. At this moment, they are facing the dilemma of running out of food and ammunition. They saw a pile of food on Yi Zhongming's side, and couldn't help but show a greedy expression. They were eager to quickly report to the central government and plan to surrender them. On the other side, two people led Yi Zhongming and several others to a secret passage. They are preparing to go to the new district base, while the Di Huang pill stayed behind to guard the remaining pork. Several people then entered the sewer. They encountered a robber who intercepted them midway, snatching the bag from Buzzcut Guy. Upon seeing the bag full of pork, the man with a watermelon-shaped head drooled greedily. Oblivious to the situation, Yi Zhongming insisted on keeping everything. Seeing Yi Zhongming's expression darken, Liang Chuyin stepped in. She took the initiative to speak up and persuade the man with the watermelon-shaped head to back off. But he felt he had a long life ahead of him. He grabbed a stick and charged straight at Liang Chuyin. Just saw Liang Chuyin lightly raise his foot. She kicked him flying hundreds of miles away. Other little brothers shouted to teach Liang Chuyin a lesson when they saw this. But the next moment, they were all lying on the ground. Then, without looking back, they continued to move forward. After a short episode, they emerged from the sewer and arrived at the new district base. Xiaolei can't wait to find Qinyu. She parted ways with a few people, not forgetting to disdain Yi Zhongming's ruthlessness before leaving. This left Yi Zhongming speechless. It's really the end of the world, and she still wants to play the saint. Little does she know about the world today. People are willing to give up their bodies for a meal. And just at this moment, two well-built men swaggered out, leaving a loaf of bread behind. They directly pulled the woman away. Xiao Pang explained that they were able to act so domineeringly because they controlled the 3 wheels. As soon as they heard there were 3 wheels here, Yi Zhongming got excited immediately. When he found out that one of them is a level 2 wheel, Yi Zhongming decided to settle here directly. At night, several people arrived at an empty house. They made a fire, cooked and ate meat. However, the lack of vegetables from long-term meat consumption led to malnutrition, even for evolvers. But this is not an issue for Yi Zhongming. He then directly pulled Flat Op Bro to cultivate the land. Flat Op Bro looked puzzled. Now planting means waiting forever before harvesting. But the next second, green vegetables sprouted out of the soil. Yes, that's Yi Zhongming's gardener professional skill. Cultivation acceleration. In the near future, people will even need to rely on a wheel lottery to get a piece of cabbage to eat. In the zombie-ravaged doomsday world, seizing the wheel becomes a key to survival and power. The resurrected Yi Zhongming is like a walking loophole. While others can't even eat their fill, he worries about not having smooth bowel movements from only eating meat without vegetables. After he activated the gardener profession skill of accelerating cultivation, the seeds he had just planted grew at a visible speed. In the doomsday world, having food is equivalent to having ownership. As expected, they eat better than emperors in the apocalypse. Zhongming thinks he can eat vegetables tomorrow, and he is very happy. At this moment, there was a knocking sound coming from outside the door. Buzzcut Guy is back. During the day, Zhongming asked him to find the person who has the formula. Now he has come back to convey the good news. The joy on Zhongming's face is even greater. Soon after, Buzzcut Guy took Zhongming to a clubhouse in the East District. Sitting in front of them was a big shot in military attire. Zhongming guessed that this person wanted to trade the formula. It is likely that the ingredients required for the formula are too demanding, making it tasteless. Soon after, Zhongming took out 3 bottles of level 1 evolution potion. The man was about to agree, but Zhongming chuckled and said, "It's 1 potion, plus a gun." The man's face turned dark. Hearing that the other party actually wanted to trade his treasure for a gun, isn't this just like dancing with a big knife in front of Guangdong? Zhongming ignored him, and reached into his backpack instead. He pulled out an ordinary handgun, then without saying a word, fired a shot next to him. Then with a bang, a big hole appeared on the wall. "Damn! You call this a gun?" Seeing such power, the man immediately agreed to Zhongming's terms of the deal. Then he returned to the base. Enjoyed the long-lost Chinese cabbage. Everyone no longer worried about constipation. But there were people feeling happy and others feeling sad. On the other side, Xiao Lei successfully found her missing husband Chen Yu, who was beaten with a swollen nose and bruised face. Xiao Lei felt very sad. Fortunately, before leaving, Mo Yi gave her a bottle of evolution potion and some pork. Chen Yu, who used to be the son of a secretary, now feels that instant noodles can taste like delicacies from mountains and seas. And just at that moment, someone suddenly kicked open their door. The intruder was none other than Brother Pan, known for his bullying ways in the market. The former second-generation official, Chen Yu, had long lost his arrogance at this point. He greeted with a smile, and offered to help wash his clothes immediately. Upon hearing this, Xiao Lei thought he had mistaken the person. He was extremely excited. She immediately captured Brother Pan's attention. He carefully examined Xiao Lei, and then revealed a sly smile. After giving Xiao Lei a meaningful look, he turned and left. At this moment, Xiao Lei frowned. She could already sense a dangerous aura emanating from the sleazy man. Later, Brother Pan returned to the massage parlor. He talked to Bald Bro about Chen Yu's beautiful wife. Truly living up to her reputation, even the blind can hear what he's thinking. This immediately piqued the interest of the 2 Ball brothers. In the near future, people will have to rely on wheel to draw lots even for eating a roadside chicken. In the post-apocalyptic world where zombies rampage, seizing the wheel becomes the key to survival and power. The resurrected Zhongming is like a walking cheat code. Just escaped from one of the bosses, Li Cheng, in the new area. He exchanged for a skill book of basic puppet art. He saw the conditions written on it. No wonder the other 2 bosses were uninterested. Just 5 level 2 magic crystals were already daunting. But for Zhongming, this is simply tailor-made. Later, he plans to take a look at the only level 2 wheel in the new area at night, while the other side looks at Brother Pan with admiration. He is whispering secrets to another Ball brother. The Ball brother was originally in high spirits, but he lost his enthusiasm after hearing Brother Pan's plan. For survival, it is necessary to find a good peer. And Cooker Jean, one of the 3 big bosses in the new district, is quite similar to Chow Chow in his special quirk, only liking married women. As long as they offer up a stunning married woman like Xiao Lei, then they will enjoy the shade of a big tree. But they are unaware. Cooker Jean not only shares Chow Chow's peculiar habits, but also his ruthless and heartless nature. After the 2 of them report upwards, they will be ruthlessly eliminated without a second thought, never to see the sun again. He learned that Chen Yu's wife Xiao Lei is a stunning beauty. Cooker Jean then directly summoned Chen Yu. After that, he drank a glass of Lafite from the 1982 vintage. He leered and suggested sharing Chen Yu's wife. Chen Yu looked shocked. He cursed 1,000 times in his heart, but couldn't utter a single word of refusal. And just at that moment, Cooker Jean pulled out a bottle of evolution potion from his pocket. Chen Yu's eyes lit up immediately upon seeing the evolution potion. This directly broke through Chen Yu's bottom line. He knows very well that the treatment of a successful evolution will change dramatically. Then he turned around and left with a clear understanding. And at this moment, Zhongming had already been lurking outside Cooker Jin's residence. Seeing that the guards at level 2 wheel were indeed not as tight as those at level 1 wheel, Zhongming walked straight past the two of them and went in. Then, he carefully examined the wheel in front of him. He was slightly disappointed to see that there were no skills or recipes. But fortunately, there was the level 2 evolution potion to make up for it. But when he looked closely again, he was shocked. This is the elemental stone. It can not only be embedded in weapons and equipment to grant the weapon additional attributes, but the most crucial thing is this thing is actually edible. In the previous life, there was a survivor on the verge of death who had nothing to eat. He unintentionally swallowed a shattered elemental stone on the battlefield, but unexpectedly he survived. And the nature of the elemental stone that was eaten. The elemental stone, which originally had a stable price, suddenly became a sought-after item. Its price has skyrocketed. But this is also something that happened 4 or 5 years later. Now is the time for Zhongming to seize the opportunity. Then take out the recently obtained level 2 magic crystal. The remaining 5 will be used to make human puppets. As long as there are strengthening agents or elemental stones, he can make a lot of profit. Zhongming immediately took action without saying a word. In the near future, people even need to rely on a lucky draw using the wheel to have a meal of king crab. In a post-apocalyptic world where zombies roam, seizing the wheel becomes the key to survival and power in the midst of the zombie apocalypse. Zhongming, who has been reborn, is like a walking strategy guide. Other people can look but cannot touch the level 2 wheel. In his eyes, it is a tempting opportunity to widen the gap. Then he directly threw the level 2 magic crystal obtained from killing pigs into it. And in the daytime, he used a loaf of bread to lure away 2 bullies who were harassing a woman. Because ordinary people simply cannot bear the brutality of the evolver. And the 2 were in the household when suddenly they saw a dazzling light coming from the rooftop. It meant that someone had successfully turned the level 2 wheel, and at that moment, Chen Yu was persuading Xiao Lei to sacrifice himself. She argued that sooner or later they would have to use it, so why not exchange it for someone powerful who could provide shelter from the wind and rain? He said it so awkwardly that his toes could dig out a 4-bedroom apartment. She couldn't believe that Chen Yu, whom she had gone through so much trouble to find, turned out to be so weak. Xiao Lei instantly exploded in anger. Then she picked up the supply bag and turned to leave. The lonely Cooker Jean had already visited. Seeing his extremely obscene face, Xiao Lei immediately jumped up. But without drinking the strengthening potion, Xiao Lei is simply no match for Cooker Jean. She was then thrown towards the prepared bed on the side. And at this moment, the person pressing down on Xiao Lei's hands. He also demanded Cooker Jean to fulfill his promise of giving him the evolution potion. Xiao Lei became even more furious after hearing this sentence. She added a carp to the mix before striking again and again. Chen Yu's inner thoughts directly erupted into a million F***ck your mother curses. She twisted open one bottle of evolution potion. But how could Cooker Jean let her successfully take the medicine? YouTuber also felt that she was crazy not to drink early in the morning. In the end, she was saved by Zhongming. News came from outside that level 2 wheel was being turned, which was obviously more attractive. Cooker Jean then went straight out through the broken window. He called everyone to gather on the rooftop. And at this moment, the turning wheel made a loud noise. Yi Zhongming also knew that it was not suitable to stay here for long. Fortunately, at the last moment, the pointer of fate accurately stopped. Yi Zhongming successfully obtained the coveted elemental stone. But his crystal could still rotate one more round. Yi Zhongming had to take a risk. Meanwhile, Cooker Jean, leading his troops, quickly rushed towards the balcony. Yi Zhongming's heart skipped a beat. In the end, the pointer of fate followed the script completely, and stopped at the level 2 enhancer that he had been longing for. The pursuers have already caught up to him. For AK-56 rifles pointed straight at his back, commanding him to raise his hands and turn around. And just at that moment, the level 2 enhancer he had just obtained smoothly appeared in his hand. Cooker Jean in the back finally couldn't sit still. He quickly ordered to take down Yi Zhongming by hand. In the near future, people need to rely on a wheel draw even to drink a bottle of 1982 Lafite. In a post-apocalyptic world where zombies roam, seizing the wheel becomes the key to power and survival in the post-apocalyptic world. Yi Zhongming, who has returned from the dead, is like a walking cheat code. Level 2 wheel that others can only look at but not touch. For him, it's a tempting treat that sets him apart. However, the noise generated when turning the wheel is too loud. He quickly attracted the pursuit of other forces. Luckily, Yi Zhongming had the protagonist's script in hand. In a state of 4 guns firing simultaneously, he managed to evade smoothly. Then, he leaped forward, wielded a 90-meter short knife, and plunged it into the wall. A Jackie Chan-style high-altitude descent. In the end, he landed smoothly without even messing up his hairstyle. But the current situation is still quite urgent. A melee is inevitable. But for Yi Zhongming, it's a piece of cake. Everyone sees this magnificent figure. Even the elites among the elites were stunned when they saw it. And the most important thing at the moment is to find a secluded place to take the level 2 strengthening potion. Therefore, Yi Zhongming did not engage in a battle. Instead, he fled first as a sign of respect. He hid in the pine forest, waiting for the right moment. However, there were pursuers everywhere. Even someone as strong as Yi Zhongming found himself in a dilemma, because improving the potion and completing the evolution would take at least 10 minutes. Now, he was in a difficult situation. If he did not break through forcefully, he would only end up being trapped. After making up his mind, Yi Zhongming took out the Hellhound summoning card he had obtained from the Pearl Lake battle. Then he threw it out directly. The card slowly shattered and dispersed. At the same time, a blue hexagram slowly rose. Then, a fierce-looking double-headed hellhound shone as it made its grand entrance. When the elites saw this monster in front of them, they thought the base had been breached by zombie monsters. They were all scared to the point of heartbeats pounding. Immediately following was a barrage of random shooting. In front of the hellhound with maxed-out agility attribute, this overwhelming shooting was considered futile. Not only could it not harm a single hair on it, but it also completely enraged it. On the other side, Yi Zhongming was still in a tough battle. He could only escape while using the summoning scroll to turn everything he touched into monsters. When he saw a BMW parked on the side of the road, Yi Zhongming was overjoyed. Then he directly used the summoning scroll on it. The next second, the BMW instantly transformed into Bumblebee Plus. Bumblebee continues to fight for Yi Zhongming, but it's like a drop in the bucket. For the current plan, he can only catch the leader to catch all the thieves first. On the other side, Cooker Jean and another boss, Chairman Wang, are plundering Yi Zhongming. They ordered their subordinates to indiscriminately shoot innocent civilians. The purpose is to leave Yi Zhongming with nowhere to escape. And at this moment, there is already a glowing 90-meter short knife behind them, ready to strike. By the time they realized, they have already reported to the underworld. Take out 2 big bosses in the base. Yi Zhongming can finally breathe a sigh of relief. Then he directly chugged down this bottle of 82-year-old level 2 evolution potion. Then with a bang, severe after effects arrived as expected. In the near future, people will need to rely on a wheel draw just to have a cup of 3-flower light milk. In the post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombies, Seizing the wheel becomes the key to survival and empowerment. Zhongming, who has come back to life, is like a walking manual. He was the first to draw the level 2 evolution potion. When he took a gulp of it, intense pain followed immediately. Even someone as strong as Zhongming fell to the ground directly. But thankfully everything went smoothly. He became one of the rare 2-stars evolvers at the beginning of the apocalypse under the influence of Zhongming. The base is now in a mess. After a successful evolution, Zhongming can almost walk sideways here. He then met up with Flat-Op Bro and a few others to make the next plan. Several people gathered around the stove, brewing tea. Zhongming revealed his plan. "I want to take over this base. Buzzcut Guy, you will be the new owner of the base." Buzzcut Guy looks confused upon hearing this. When he heard that Zhongming took out the 2 previous bosses, he was even more shocked. And he was quite surprised by Zhongming choosing him as well. But very soon, under Zhongming's inspiration, he no longer hesitated. After a brief explanation by Zhongming, he turned around and left, leaving a group of people looking puzzled. And outside, explosions kept happening one after another. One of the 3 bosses, Li Chang, is embroiled in a bitter battle. The base has already entered a stage of mutual killing. Just as Li Chang is in a dilemma, Zhongming suddenly appeared by his side. Li Chang was startled like the 3rd emoji in your phone. When he recognized that the person was Zhongming, he put away his 70-meter short gun. He had no intention of being at odds with Zhongming because he knew Zhongming's current strength. And Zhongming was not polite to him either. He directly incorporated him. In this way, Buzzcut Guy got a capable assistant. Suddenly, a beautiful cluster of fireworks appeared in the sky. The panicked civilians fleeing thought that the zombies had entered the city. But the next moment, they heard Buzzcut Guy's passionate speech. Under his well-organized arrangements, the chaotic situation gradually stabilized. Zhongming was pleased to see their cooperation going so smoothly. But at this moment, Zhongming suddenly had a foreboding feeling. Afterwards, he immediately asked everyone to be quiet. Then he crouched on the ground to listen carefully, with a very serious expression. This surprised Flat-Top Bro and the others. Before they could react, Zhongming immediately ordered the people in the south area to evacuate. "Don't rush, but we must act quickly." Just by looking at his expression, you can tell that the situation is serious. Sure enough, the next second, a strong tremor was felt. But things have come to this. Zhongming still let Buzzcut Guy evacuate the people from the South District immediately. Then he instructed Daming to block off all the roads in the South District. The rest of the people followed Zhongming to ambush the impending sandworm nightmare. Sandworms themselves have a single ability, but they can quickly drill holes to destroy the foundation of the city walls. Once the walls collapse, what awaits them? It's the endless horde of zombies. In the near future, people even need a wheel to draw lots for eating a lobster. In a world where zombies roam freely, seizing the wheel has become the key to survival and empowerment. The resurrected Zhongming is like a walking cheat code. Now he is faced with the sandworms that can burrow through the ground. If not dealt with properly, they will be surrounded by zombies. There's no time to lose. Zhongming takes the lead by jumping first as a sign of respect. He first gave a standard demonstration. First, he directly chopped off its midsection legs. Limit its movements. Then leapt to its tail. At a distance of 2 fingers from the anus is the location of its heart. And when pulling out the knife, be sure to avoid the splashing blood. Otherwise, if contaminated, the body will become stiff. Watching Zhongming's smooth operation, Flat-Top Bro once again transformed into a little fanboy. However, at that moment, the ground shook violently again. Subsequently, sandworms emerged continuously from the ground, surrounding the few of them. Zhongming casually instructed the 5 of them to deal with the 3. Then, without looking back, he rushed towards the other 2. Just recruited Li Chang silently criticized that he actually let 5 1-star individuals deal with 3 level 2 exotic beasts. But the next second, Mo Yi and the others taught him what cooperation meant. Mo Yi, with Teacher Piao, diverted the attention of the other two sandworms, while the other three focused all their efforts on killing the isolated sandworm. Liang Qin pulled out an 80-meter short whip. She used the ancestral technique of horse-reining pole. Then, she smoothly executed a spin and landed without splashing water. She smoothly made her way to the tail of the sandworm. In the moment before landing, Flat Top Bro handed her an 80-meter short sword. Liang Qin moved from bottom to top and was ready to strike in just 3 seconds. But at this moment, the sandworm suddenly pulled a surprise attack, trying to catch her off guard. Fortunately, Li Chong made a timely move to cover her. Bang! He directly blocked Sandworm's sneak attack route. In the end, Liang Qin made a move and struck. One of the sandworms fell. Meanwhile, on the other side, Mo Yi kept engaging with the other two. With the assistance of Teacher Piao, the sandworm couldn't harm Mo Yi in the slightest. The two women finally held on until Flat Top Bro and his group arrived to support them. Yi Zhongming saw how well they cooperated and came to offer comfort. But the next moment, his face darkened, because the scene in front of him once again filled him with dread. The group of zombies outside the city had already made their way in through the ruins. Yi Zhongming quickly helped them deal with the remaining sandworms to show them the current situation. It was evident that this group of zombies seemed organized and premeditated. They used the sandworms to attack the same location. Then, all the zombies converged on that spot. Seeing this scene, Yi Zhongming also found himself in a dilemma. And just at this moment, a familiar voice came from nearby. It was Xiao Lei, who had just become an evolver, and she brought a solution. She pointed towards 2 tall buildings ahead and looked at the explosives she had brought. As long as those 2 tall buildings were blown up in the same direction, they can block the entrance from the South District to other areas. In the near future, people will need to rely on wheel lottery even to eat a can of sardines. In the end of the world where zombies rampage, seizing the wheel becomes the key to power and survival. Yi Zhongming, who has come back to life, now facing a situation of being surrounded by zombies. He was seen wielding a 90-meter short blade. Then he leaped forward, diving straight into the crowd of zombies for hand-to-hand combat, all in order to buy some time. Xiao Lei can only set up the explosives. By blowing up the tall building, he can block the way for the zombies. Inspired by Yi Zhongming, everyone in the base united as one, jumping down one after another. Following Yi Zhongming is definitely the right choice. For a moment, everyone was high-spirited and fought the zombie horde with ease. However, they were all not enhanced and faced various mutated creatures, making it somewhat ineffective. Luckily, there is Yi Zhongming supporting us like Mount Tai. Yi Zhongming is supported by Teacher Piao and stands in the front to facilitate an orderly retreat for everyone. At this time, Li Chong is conducting surveillance from above. He discovered that there seems to be a leader behind the group of zombies. Yi Zhongming's expression darkened after hearing this. He seemed to realize that the other party was a tricky opponent. Sure enough, the leader of the other party is none other than the former leader of that armed group, Leader Yi. But now, he seems to have turned into a zombie face. Under his command, the zombie horde became more ferocious in battle. After Liang Qin unleashed raging madness several times, everyone also gradually showed signs of physical exhaustion. Fortunately, Yi Zhongming always shows up at critical moments. Before she could even offer a kiss of gratitude, Yi Zhongming packed her up and handed her over to Teacher Piao before instructing everyone to retreat back to the ruins. The rest was left up to him alone. Yi Zhongming, without having to consider his other companions. He was like opening floodgates. He single-handedly held back the menacing horde of zombies. No one could open the door when one man stands guard. In fact, this is related to the elemental stone he drew before. He consumed the elemental stone before enhancing 2 stars. He obtained the attributes of Fountain of Stamina. Both the speed of stamina recovery and endurance have doubled. While he was killing the zombies, he was also recovering his stamina. However, the group of zombies seemed even more relentless. They rushed towards Yi Zhongming in an instant. The few people watching on the side all had fear written on their faces. Only 3 seconds. Just like wrapping Zhongzi. Zombies wrap Yi Zhongming so tightly that not even a breath can get through. Li Chong thought that Yi Zhongming was more likely to cause harm than bring good fortune. He was about to turn around and leave. Mo Yi suddenly exclaimed in surprise. "Quick, look over there." Just saw zombie burst into flames. In the blink of an eye, they were burned to ashes. Meanwhile, Yi Zhongming leisurely walked out. When Yi Zhongming stood up again, everyone looked at him in disbelief. Li Chong, who had just wanted to leave, suddenly regained his spirits. He informed Yi Zhongming that the explosives had been set up. In the end, with the efforts of Xiao Lei and a few others, they finally managed to block the path for the zombie group. The defense of the base will eventually achieve victory. Following that, Yi Zhongming appeared in front of Buzzcut Guy. He grabbed her delicate white hand. "Present him with a bottle filled with love and care evolution potion. Now you are the boss around here." In the near future, people even need to rely on the wheel lottery to drink a bottle of Baishui Mountain in the near future. In the world where zombies roam, seizing the wheel becomes the key to survival and reinforcement. Yi Zhongming, who has been reborn, always seems to be one step ahead. Just finished a zombie siege battle. Yi Zhongming took a few people to do what they dared not do before. They arrived at a bank. Then Yi Zhongming pulled out a 90-centimeter short knife. He clicked the vault door twice. The huge marble steel door crumbled instantly. Then he led the team to sweep the vault. When Flat Out Bro saw an emerald worth 2 million, he felt like he was going to make a fortune. But the next second, he was pulled back to reality by Xiao Lei. Nowadays, 2 million is only equivalent to a few kilograms of toilet paper. And Yi Zhongming came here. He is just here to find something. It's about the two strong men who were acting arrogantly in the previous episodes. The bald one eventually told Yi Zhongming in order to save his life. There is a Type 88 sniper rifle stored here. In the apocalypse, firearms are much more valuable than emeralds. Yi Zhongming closed the gun case satisfied. Then he asked others to go to the ruined city wall first and wait. He prepared to remove the magic crystal from the zombies killed today, while he himself went to prepare another weapon. He arrived alone next to a morgue. In the apocalypse, there is usually a place for handling corpses, but the new base area had just been established a few days ago. Yi Zhongming was truly shocked to see so many corpses gathered here. He then arrived next to the two strange cattle. Click! He directly decapitated them, and the dark red blood continuously gathered in the pool of blood, causing the bald man nearby to skip a heartbeat. Yes, Yi Zhongming was preparing materials for basic puppet art. First, 500 kilograms of blood is needed. Secondly, a dying person is required. Yi Zhongming was seen walking quickly towards the bald man. Then, he raised a 90-meter short knife. He looked at him coldly. He scared the bald man so much that he cried for his parents. But just as he was about to strike, Yi Zhongming found that there was still movement in the mass grave. Upon closer inspection, he realized it was a miracle, as the woman in front of him was still barely alive. She was the woman who had been dragged away by the two bald men that day. Now, letting her hang on to her last breath was probably because she wanted to personally take the life of that bald man. Yi Zhongming didn't say a word. He directly carried the woman towards the prepared blood pool. At this moment, the bald man was completely dominated by fear. Tears of cowardice flowed directly from his nose. Yi Zhongming was seen slowly placing the woman into the blood pool. He then threw in a few level 2 magic crystals. Then he fed the woman another bottle of evolution potion. After all preparations were done, he proceeded with the final combination step, only to see the woman's eyes losing their luster. A black energy instantly engulfed her. The next second, the woman opened her eyes again. In their place were dark and profound eyes. Then with a loud bang, the woman emerged from the pool of blood, completely changing her previously gentle demeanor. Her hair also turned blood red. Yi Zhongming is very satisfied. Next, we need to test its power. Then Yi Zhongming pointed to the bald man in the corner. Before the bald man could react and beg for mercy, Woman Iron Corpse directly cut him in half. In the near future, people even need to rely on wheel to draw lots for a bottle of Jiaduobo. In the post-apocalyptic world overrun by zombies, seizing the wheel becomes the key to survival and power. Yi Zhongming, who has been reborn, seizes all the resources. Create Woman Puppet Iron Corpse at the beginning of the apocalypse. She works tirelessly without feeling physical pain or limitations. She is definitely a killing machine in the apocalypse. After finishing, Yi Zhongming regrouped with the team. Seeing a woman standing behind him, his loyal fan Liang Chuyin immediately initiated a soul interrogation. However, Yi Zhongming brushed past her under the pretext of dealing with urgent matters first. The current priority is to dig for magic crystals, with Yi Zhongming taking the lead in diverting the zombies, while the others scavenge. The two most fragile individuals are in charge of lighting up the area. Flattop Bro was amazed to see the red-haired woman following Yi Zhongming. He couldn't help but sigh at the boss's power again. Even Yi Zhongming was very satisfied. This is truly a human weapon. Not only is her strength astonishing, even her fingernails are weapons. And she also has thick skin and strong muscles. Amazing defense. It probably wouldn't be a problem for her to face a regular level 2 evolver. But the commotion is getting louder and louder. It's attracting more and more zombies. The group did not linger in battle. They retreated immediately. They used the more than 1,000 level 1 magic crystals they picked up to draw over 20 bottles of 1-star evolution potion, and then asked Buzzcut Guy to bring along those who performed well in defense during the battle. Distribute them all to them. But at the same time, they also need to come to support the battle the next day. The inherent human nature is to seek advantages and avoid disadvantages. Out of the 13 people who obtained evolution, only 7 showed up the next day. If this cannot be resolved this time, Buzzcut Guy will not be able to gain the trust of the base. Yi Zhongming gave him 3 suggestions. If you do not obey, you will be killed. Under the careful guidance of Yi Zhongming, Buzzcut Guy finally took that step. He broke through the psychological defense line. Killing those who disobeyed orders also served as a warning. Afterwards, the reconstruction work proceeded methodically. At this time, Yi Zhongming and others were quietly observing. Mo, you did not understand what Yi Zhongming was looking at. Yi Zhongming then smiled slightly, indicating that he was looking for someone. This left Mo Yi and Xiao Lei puzzled. If Yi Zhongming's guess was correct, the previous wave of organized attacks by the zombies surrounding the city, it's probably related to the brain worm. Although individually they are not powerful, but they are good at hiding and ambushing. They also erode the host's consciousness in order to control the host's brain, and can also control the magic crystal life. Just saw Yi Zhongming suddenly cut his wrist. Mo Yi on the side thought Yi Zhongming had gone crazy when he saw that. But in fact, he was just luring the snake out of its hole. He used his own blood to attract the zombies over. Thus, they found the mastermind brain worm controlling the zombies. Attracted by the fresh blood, a large group of zombies kept pouring in this direction. Following closely behind were Yi Zhongming and a few others. Soon, Yi Zhongming leaped back to the first line of defense. Ordered Liang Chuyin to command, only need to fill the trench, and then they can retreat. On the other side, Yi Zhongming, carrying the Di Huang pill and the Iron Corpse, is searching for the brain worm based on Yi Zhongming's understanding of the brain worm. Its target must be its own level 2 evolved self. And the reason for finding it actually makes sense, just like the elemental stone. Because brain worm is also a great supplement that can be consumed.